Hi there, this is Lou and John. This
Hi.
is our series of videos, Heart to Heart. If you're new to the site, then you'll quickly find out this is not scripted. This is us being ourselves.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
want you to be real with us. We want to be real with you. And we're talking about very important subject that's come up a lot in your one-to-ones, aren't they? Detachment.
Yeah. I've been talking to some people recently, and detachment is one of the things that seems to be quite a hot topic at the moment. And sadly surprising, particularly if you are in lockdown. That makes it that wee bit more difficult. Some people believe that detachment is kind of makes you cold. It's sort of hardening your heart, and it's not that at all. It's not that at all. It's about trying to get on with your life, and including the drinker when the drinker is sober, but sort of not being led by the drinker when the drinker is drinking. Now, again, as I say, that's not easy. But we was trying.
Can I
Sorry.
say something here?
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
because I think it is relevant. Detachment comes up in other arenas because I'm a counsellor.
Yeah.
And sometimes you start with anger. Now, anger can be a good fuel or a bad fuel, but I think to start using your anger and with detachment, it's not the end of the world if you start saying, I will not let him get to me anymore. Maybe the first stage of detachment, and that's okay as long as you don't sit there just fuming in another room. Obviously it's not a good way to deal with it.
No.
But sometimes that is a way of using your anger to start off with. If you can't do it any other way, do it, because why would you let the drink have any more power over you than it's already got?
Yeah.
So sometimes that fuel is a good starter, but I absolutely agree with John. It's to just then keep simmering.
Yes.
You're still actually reacting to the drink. So, but can I say that bit?
Of course you can.
Yeah,
Well, you
because
just did.
I did.
Can you? You've done it.
Yes, what I mean is that okay in your...
Yes, of course. I think anger is a very empowering emotion.
Yeah.
There are some emotions, like depression and sadness, which are actually disempowering. But anger is one of those like you tend to do something from it.
I think,
as long as you don't stay there.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah, the point is you're not doing it to punish him.
Yeah.
And if you've done the four
Yeah.
P's yet, you'll have done a bit on that.
I suppose it's a wee bit like your car is the battery's flat and somebody comes out and gives you a jump start. Anger can be like that, but you then need to take the jump start away and and get on with it.
Yeah, because you're not doing it to punish him, that's not what we're suggesting.
No.
You're doing it to protect yourself.
Yes. So detachment is actually quite important because one of the things that we talk about sometimes is about the dance. When you are with a drinker, there's a dance going on, and if your drinker is leading the dance, then it can get a bit chaotic. And you have to stop that. You have to stop letting the drinker lead the dance. What do you mean by leading the dance? Well, you are spending your time wondering where they are, what they're doing, how much they're drinking, how drunk they're going to be, so you're not getting on with your life. If the drinker is not there, your head's out there somewhere. It's not in here. Or if they are there, then you're, dancing around, wondering what's going to happen next, what they're going to say, what they're going to ask for, how they're going to be. So your life really is revolving around the drinker. And that's a very, very difficult place to be. Your life is not your own.
It is, and I have to say with my drinker, being a binge drinker, took me years to get him not to binge in the lounge. So what you get is this really, really drunk person, occasionally staggering to the loo, right in the middle, chucking out these terrible waves. And took us a long time, but eventually, and I can say that this did happen, we just were like a river that just parted from an island, just flowed on beyond him. But we really had to work on that. No, we had to get some strategies going.
So a lot of the stuff that's in the program, the very first one is all about stop doing certain things, and then there's the four P's, where you don't get into the bottle hunt, where you're wondering, you know, where is the alcohol? Where's it coming from? How much, you know, and the old cliche going in and marking the bottle, you know, has he or she been drinking out of this bottle? You know, so stop doing that and try and look after yourself, because that's what detachment is about. It's about looking after yourself. It's about empowering yourself. It's about leading your life, you know, where the drinker could be part of it when they're sober, but, you know, are less part of it when they're drinking.
Yeah, I do get.
That's what it's about.
I do get with the drinking, because I'm a drink hunter. I was a bottle hunter.
Yeah.
Extraordinaire bottle hunter extraordinaire. What it made me feel is if I wasn't going mad. Yeah. Once I found the bottle, I knew I wasn't going mad. However, I think you just have to trust with what you know. If you've been living with a drinker for a while, you'll know when it starts. You know, the alarm bell goes off inside. So believe yourself. Say, okay, and I actually said it to my husband, you know, if you look like you're drinking, I'm just going to assume you are drinking.
If you look like you're drinking, you smell like you're drinking, you know, you walk like you're drinking,
Yeah.
You know.
And if I occasionally get it wrong, I'm afraid you brought it on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I was a great one for going, who, me?
Yeah.
Drinking? Yeah. No, and the fumes, you know, you could smell it a mile away. You know?
Me drinking?
Yeah. My wife sort of looked out the window and could see me coming up the path, you know, and she knew I'd been drinking. Yeah. You know, but then everybody knew I had been drinking. But we, as drinkers, think that we say, oh, no, only had a couple.
Yeah.
We think that you're going to believe that, you know, and you might for a wee while, but after a while you go, oh, come on, you know, because one of the things that we find people get really angry about is the lies, you know, the lies that drinkers talk, you know, and I've heard it in AA, people say, you know, how do you know an alcoholic's lying? Their lips are moving, you know. It was a bit sad, but, you know, there is some truth in that. You know, we do lie about our drinking. So you don't need to buy into that. You know, your senses tell you. Yeah. You've got 5 senses. They all tell you the person has been drinking.
And the 6th sense for women, intuition, that'll tell you as well.
The intuition.
You kind of know. Sorry, men, and then you've got it too when it comes to drinking, because you've got this thing. Yeah. So detach from trying to find the bottle.
Yeah.
So it is hard in lockdown for people, though, isn't it?
It's very hard in lockdown, especially if you're in a fairly small house. You know, it becomes even more difficult. You know, but there are ways. You know, I mean, headphones.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't get out of the room, put on headphones, do something else, you know, but that might be difficult if you've got to look after kids, you know. Therefore, part of the detachment might be making the agreement, putting down boundaries at the beginning that if you're going to drink, you drink in that other room, you know, you don't drink in here, you know. If you've got kids, you know, and you want them sort of safe and, you know, away from the drinker, then maybe these agreements have to be made.
Yeah, and have a fallback plan, because sometimes when they're drunk, the agreements they make when they're not so drunk,
they go out the window.
They go out the window.
Yeah.
So unless you're locked down in one bedsit, there must be a space you can go. And I would encourage you to think about it. Think about what you're going to do. It might be when they binge a bit more, or it might be that the drinker is worse towards the end of the day. So have a plan where you will go somewhere else, do stuff with your kids. The moment it begins to get bad, or with the binge drinker it begins to build up, find a world that you build that is not his or her drinking world.
We talk a lot in the programme and in various videos about things that you can do. Unfortunately, again, with the lockdown, that becomes that bit more difficult. But with a bit of imagination, maybe you can sort of, you know, create the new world. You can create the new beach, the new gym, you know, the new walk by the river, you know what I mean? You can find things. If you look online, there's lots of people who are being very inventive at this time, not necessarily because they're living with drinkers, but because they're living with boredom, you know, and finding things to do. And again, with kids, it makes it that bit more difficult again.
I used to kind of have a special kind of binge drinking treat for my kids, so that we'd go, I'd often save up and buy them a game at that particular time, took them out to where they like to, you know, the Kentucky and all this kind of stuff that kids seem to love, you know, so that they began to associate that with them having something nice. Now you need to watch that, and then because you get heavily into compensation, which we have to watch later, but really this is about getting through at the moment, isn't it? We're not going to be locked down forever.
One of the things I do suggest is one of the escapes is to go into the forum. You know, go into the forum where this video is and talk to other people in the forum. It might allow you to sort of vent a little bit. It might pick up tips of what other people are doing, but it certainly helps, you know.
Yeah, use the forum to vent. All we suggest is that you explain what you're doing. Just say, I'm doing a bit of venting here. Now, don't argue with a drunk, basic rule, don't pick a fight with a drunk, you know, but if the anger is flowing over, which it often does, just say, I just need to vent. And express your anger, and under that will be pain and your pain. And let's look out for each other at those moments, because we lead each other anyway. But that time when we just feel we can't go on, that's the time when we need people to just say, we understand, we're here for you, we're standing with you.
Another thing you can do is you can download these audios or videos, you know, onto your phone and listen to us, or, you know, take us for a walk. If you're doing your little bit of exercise, take us for a walk.
Yeah.
We're happy to come along.
And there is a video somewhere about in the middle of crisis that I did, isn't there, somewhere?
Yeah,
there's lots of resources. Just crawl through.
Yeah, and I do suggest that if you're in lockdown and you have this time, you know, although somehow we're even busier than we used to. But if you have time, then this is a good opportunity to go through the program. You know. I think one of the things that we can do is we can see this as a kind of sentence, or we can see it as an opportunity. And I think a lot of people are beginning to see this as an opportunity to do something different, to change their lives, so that we come out of this virus changed, rather than, you know, having pressed the pause button and just waiting. You know, wait for life to resume as normal. You know, we don't really want that. You know, we don't really want that. We want something different. So use this opportunity to get into the program and get into the forum and make new friends online.